Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Every Day is Friday, the show where we dive into the stories and experiences from people from all walks of life. Today, we have Mr. Big USA with us. He is a street interviewer from Atlanta who is out here asking big questions to find out the next big thing in the USA. He talks he talks to all kinds of people. He gets their takes on everything from aliens to first dates to conspiracy theories. We're going to dive into his journey, the crazy responses he's heard, and what it takes to be a great interviewer. Mr. Big USA, welcome to the show.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Now for the listeners, for the listeners who may not be familiar with your line of work yet, could you give us a quick rundown of who you are and what you do and why you do it?
So, I started my show doing street interviews. In reality, at the beginning, it was actually it got motivated by the Hot to a girl. I was like, if she can do it, I can find the next big girl or the next big guy that can do it, that can be that interesting. Because I meet a lot of interesting people in my day, in my work. Everybody, normal people for me are like the standard or the reference that I should go back to. Because like most of the people that go on TV and go on politics are kind of planned, and some of them are fake. So I like the spontaneity that people could have. So I started it thinking that that's what I wanted. But after talking to the people and after doing a bunch of interviews, I found out actually that's not what I really want. I want to get the mental state of an average American, what type of thoughts he has in his mind, like nowadays. Because like if you compare it to any other age, every single age has different aspirations, values, have different perception of what life is, politics, conspiracies, natural occurrences, and unnatural occurrences. Some of the subjects that were not even heard of 20 years ago, nowadays they're a big thing. So I wanted to put the mental state of an average American and what kind of things and beliefs that he holds now compared to what it was before. But it's a work in progress, and that's why I started it here. Let's keep it at that.
No, you've got one of the most interesting jobs. I mean, walking up to strangers and asking them deep and wild questions. I mean, what's the secret of getting people to actually stop and talk?
Just be engaging. Just to engage the people. Some of them want to approach me, and I usually, as you see, go in a professional demeanor. This way, people would take me seriously compared to every other guy that's doing it on the streets that are not that professional. Because most of the time I felt so at the beginning, one of the times I didn't go professional, and people were a little bit scared. They didn't know what I'm going to be doing. They didn't know what type of questions I'm going to be putting them through. And once you've seen a bunch of people doing these type of interviews, you'd feel a little bit, you'd be a little bit cautious or afraid to do an interview because you never know what they're going to ask. Some of them are ridiculous. Some of them are there to troll you. Some of them are there just to get an emotion out of you, a reaction out of you. And they might do crazy shit. And some of them are actually trying to prank you. And I did have that last time. I was doing my show yesterday. So I went to the street and I was doing my interviews. And one of the people that I was like, hey, would you like to give it a try? I'm Mr. Big and I'm asking big questions to make sense of life. Would you like to give it a try? He was like, yeah, I'd love to talk to you. And he's like, if I talk to you, would you want to be in my interview? Because I'm also doing interviews. And he did like one of the most ridiculous stuff. He had like a microphone, like a kid's microphone, not even a microphone. It's like a fake kid's microphone. You press on it and it says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it's like it's saying the ABCs. And it has a watermelon on the top of it. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. You're acting silly. Let's see what is it all about. And he put the microphone in my eye, in my nose like that, trying to get a reaction off of me. And I'm like, and the question was very basic, like, what's your best restaurant in here in Atlanta? It was a stupid, basic question, but I think he was just trying to get a reaction off of me. He was just trying to see what I could do while he's putting like the camera in my face. I'm putting that watermelon in my face. Stupid, but that's the type of people that you could uh, actually see doing these interviews. So people are usually cautious what they put their self into, especially when things are going into in a public domain. So I I tried going into professional clothing, and that gave people a lot of confidence in me, and I was easy to approach. So people like talking to me, I
No,
guess.
no, that's perfectly put. Now, what inspired you to start asking the big questions?
And I actually wanted to make sense of everything. I always have these wonderments in my mind, like, are aliens real? Are they not? Who knows? But if you ask enough people, you hear some crazy stories. Some of them seen aliens, some of them seen UFOs, some of them interacted with them. And if uh, if I don't open these questions or open these subjects, nobody's really. No, a lot of people are talking about them, but like you can't really make sense. So I wanted to see it firsthand, talking to people directly, and uh, I wanted to see how people actually think. Like, because marketing and propaganda is a very strong tool. So are they believing it because of the movies that they've seen? Are they believing it because the second thing that I asked, like, do you believe in aliens or have you seen one? And I asked them why. The number one answer, let's say, for that question is that with a probability of having somebody else in this universe is there. So if it's 1%, if it's 0.1 million zeros and 1%, it's there. We have trillions and billions of or a billion trillion stars that we even like can all know that is there for our known universe. So just having this probability is high enough for some alien to be living on a different planet. So that was the main thing that everybody told me. It's like a skepticism. Everybody's skeptic. And I think they're trying the Fermi paradox that they've heard at some point, or some other law that, yeah, if it's probable and even in a low percentage, then it's probably there. So this is one of the things that people actually uh, I've heard a lot. Like almost everybody that I ask, they believe in aliens. So I wanted to see why they believed in it, how people think, how they formulate their ideas, and what got me also motivated to do all of that. Um, so back in Lebanon, I'm from Lebanon, and I just came to the US 3 years ago. And I was a TV presenter and a news anchor. I had my own political talk show. I had actually two shows, and and I really enjoyed talking to people, going even on the streets, doing interviews with them. But even in Lebanon, I was doing it for like political stuff. But over here, I didn't want to go back into politics, though have some political questions, just as a wonderment how people are reacting to whatever is happening in the politics nowadays. But my main uh, motivation is actually seeing what the psyche and the mental state of most of the Americans, and what do they believe and what they don't.
No, street interviews are such a raw form of content.
Mm, True, it is. And it just give, and a lot of the people would be like, what type of questions? Tell me a couple of questions before I even start the interview. And be like, no, I'm not. I like the spontaneity of the answer, even if it was there is no wrong or right. I'm asking you something like, what's your conspiracy? There is no wrong or right. Like, I'm asking you like about dating. What do you think is the best way or how to act in this or this manner? There is no wrong or right. Everything is very it's a perspective that they see, and that's what I'm trying to catch actually. How they have um, lived their lives and what type of uh, minds that they have nowadays, what type of values they hold in relationships, in dating, and other aspects in life. So that's why some of the questions are like that.
No, I love how you ask about conspiracy theories. I mean, now, what's one of the theories that you've heard from someone that actually made you second guess things?
Second guess things. I like look with conspiracies. Like you never really know. It's a conspiracy. You never really know. But like second guessing the government or what they do, I never do. So as I was saying, I used to work in politics back in Lebanon, and we used to do a lot of interviews at the beginning. And I thought like people already knew that over here in America, since a lot of them should be even more educated than a third world country like Lebanon, but they're not actually. Um, they do believe everything that the media tells them, though the media is just like an advertisement company for politicians. That's the difference. Yeah, it has some entertainment to it with all of the other stuff that they put in to attract the customers or the viewers, but it's mainly a political advertising company. That's why they give a lot of share of their time to the news and for political interviews, because that's the main product that they want to deliver. That's the main thing, the message that they want to deliver. Everything else is just like an attraction for them to look at that TV. And while doing my interviews back in Lebanon and going into politics, even if in a small country like that, I quickly learned that um, most of them is most of the stuff that they do on TV is fake. So what I mean is, we used to get a lot of news from different sources and from different politicians, and they would tell you this is what we want to send, and this is the message that we want. And they used to pay us money just to say that message, especially if there's a certain thing that they want to push to people, a certain propaganda that they want to push to people, even if it was wrong or right. Politicians pay news outlets and magazines to push a certain agenda, to push a certain idea or ideology, and that's part of the whole propaganda. So we used to get paid to say something about them. And then I eventually also, when I was eventually also did political campaigns for some of them. And I used to be like a political consultant. So they used to come for us and say, oh, we have a problem in this, but we want to change the public opinion and make them believe in something else. So we used to make up stories and make up stuff to change the perception about a certain story. Even if it's a huge ass lie, it's still something that if we repeat enough times, people are going to start believing in it. And mainly that's what politicians and politics is. So all of the politicians are just big liars. They knew or they learned how to be charismatic liars, how to lie charismatically and convince you that they're saying the truth. And that's what mainly every one of them is doing. And um, and they try to, let's say, I'm going to give an example. Um, so let's say here in America, Canadians, Mexicans, and Chinese are the main importers to America. So that's like around 60 to 70% of the goods that you guys have come from these countries. So mainly they are your business partners. If you have somebody that gives you that much supplies, that much commodities, they're the business uh, so they're the business partner to your country. why would you want to ruin this relationship? You're your partners. There's a lot of agreements between you guys, especially Mexico and Canada, about doing all of that business. So why would you want to hurt them? Why would you want to hurt that relationship unless there's a hidden agenda? So in the public, they would say, yeah, we're protecting Americans. Yeah, we want to protect the businesses of Americans, and we want to make the Americans open up these businesses. But guess what? If they wanted, these businesses could have opened here in America, but it costs a lot, and the wages are too high. They opted out to go to Mexico and Canada. Most of these companies that import from Canada and Mexico, they are American-owned companies that go over there. Same goes for in China, like Apple. It makes its stuff in China. It's an American company that operates from China. Why would they do that? It's because they found cheaper labor to do and cheaper cost of electricity and water to do all of that. So practically, you're taxing your own companies in these countries. That's not what the president is trying to do in reality. He's trying to renegotiate the terms for these companies to get their goods even cheaper, or not to get to get them even cheaper for the owners of the companies. So they're trying to renegotiate these companies' deals with these governments so that they can make even more money. It never was about creating more jobs in America or creating companies in America. These are already American companies. So in the propaganda, in the media, Trump and all of the Republicans are saying, we're trying to do this to the American people. But in reality, if you go follow the money, and that's always been the case, if you want to know anything about anything that's going on, go follow the money. Then you will know the truth about most of the stuff that's going on. And this is what I didn't expect Americans not to understand or didn't see. I thought that was a thing because, like, it's like, well, it's known to me, it's known to a lot of people. And when I talk to a lot of people on the ground, in the streets, they kind of know that, still believe everything they say. Why? Propaganda. Say it a bunch of times, it will stick in their head as if it's reality. So this is one of the things that I like to talk about and to ask. And some of the stuff that I talk to the Americans and the beliefs that changed in me actually was I also believed some of them. And after talking to a bunch of them, it made me reflect on what's really going on. Like one time I was talking to a guy and he made me realize something about immigration. Like if Trump is actually trying to make the rich richer and these companies, and because that's his friends, like he's a millionaire, who do you think he's buddies with? All of the other millionaires and billionaires who came to his inauguration. You can see in the front seats all of the millionaires from Jeff Bezos to Mark Zuckerberg to Elon Musk to all of these. These are the ones who are actually invested in Trump and invested in any politician that might come. So it was the other politician that gained, they were going to go for his inauguration just to get benefits. So when I talked to that guy, he was telling me, yeah, I guess, the immigration rules that Trump is trying to set is probably not because he wants the immigrants out of America because they are criminals. Because as statistics show, actually illegal immigrants in America, they have the least amount of criminal records. Some of them do, I know, but they're the least amount they're the least to do criminal stuff because they're afraid and they're illegal over there and they have fled their own countries because of corruption and because of gangsters and because of militants and all of that to go make money in a place where they can be safe and away from all of these stuff. So they tend to stay with and stay like away from these type of stuff, and they're usually not that big as criminals. On the other hand, whoever lives over here, they're not going to be kicked out of the country, so they don't care if they have a criminal record or not. While all immigrants know, if you have a criminal record, you will get kicked out. So what Donald Trump did was, so every day criminals have been being kicked out of America, illegal immigrants. It wasn't a new thing that Trump just started. It's always been there. Actually, when Biden was there and when Obama was there, they kicked even more illegal immigrants because they were criminal, not illegal, they're the criminal illegal immigrants. They're doing that every day. But Donald Trump just put the spotlight on it. That's it. That's all he did. And if you want to go further in the rabbit hole, he doesn't want to kick all of the illegal immigrants because this way, his buddies, the rich people and the billionaires will not make any money. Because guess what? You go talk to Amazon, you go talk to the whoever owners of the hotels, the bigger ones, Marriott, Hilton. We go talk to all of the to all of the fields where they pick up vegetables and fruit, and you go talk to all of the farms, and you go talk to all of the people who do landscaping and all of that. Mainly, they depend on illegal immigrants because they are cheap labor, and they're the only ones that would take such a job and accept this cheap labor. So why would he want to kick them out? That's going to ruin all of the businesses, the main businesses that are generating, not only generating a lot of money for these people, but it's they're the backbone actually of the businesses in the United States. Like imagine nobody picked up any fruit, nobody delivered any fruits and vegetables, and nobody did any of the building, electrical, maintenance, plumbing, all of that. And let's say he kicked them out. How is the average American going to continue? The prices are going to skyrocket because guess what? We're going to bring an American to go do these jobs. The American people, as they tried and as they still do, it's not like they don't. They're open for business. Anybody, any American, like please come work for us. They don't. They're not going to take the same treatment, the same hour, and the same payment. So the only way that this government, not this country, will keep going on, and these millionaires will keep making money if these illegal immigrants are there. So the rabbit hole that I deducted from that conversation with that guy, when he made a bunch of people illegal, so what he did, he canceled some of the statuses, which is called the temporary protected status. Venezuelans have a temporary protected status, and Haiti, Jamaica, some of them have temporary protected status when you go into to the USA. He canceled them. Why? Is it because he wants to kick them out? No. He's trying to make even more immigrants illegal so that they have, so now the companies will have even more cheap labor to use. That's it. He's not going to kick them out. He can't kick them out. It costs millions and billions of dollars, and it needs hundred thousands of employees in each state to move them out. Because you're talking about like the Venezuelan people, they're around 4 million. The Mexican illegals are around also at least 7 to 8 million people out of the whole population. So imagine kicking out around 50 million in total of immigrants. Do you know how many people you need just to kick out 50 million people? It's going to take a lot of money, and I don't think anybody's going to pay that or anybody's going to employ that. So this is one of the stuff that kind of when you go back and forth with people, having your ideas, having your understanding of politics, and like getting some of the feedback, it's like a punching, like a, what do you call it, like thinking out loud. It got me to some of the conclusions, and this is one of them, actually.
Now, why did you come to the United States from Lebanon?
You want to really get into that story? So, It might sound interesting to some people, but I mistakenly started a revolution back in Lebanon. I can share with you one of the videos that sparked all of that. So in 2019, I went and did my master's degree in data science in Madrid, in Spain. And I came back thinking that I'm on top of the world now that I have a data science master's degree and I have a banking and finance degree from an American university, a diploma in BS in banking and finance. I thought like combining data science and finance, that's going to make me get all kinds of jobs. Went back to Lebanon, couldn't find any, not even an office boy position. So I got bored and I wanted to make a change. So I started writing songs because at also that time, Kendrick Lamar and Childish Gambino dropped This Is America, and Kendrick dropped Sit Down, Be Humble. And they were both singing, and they have a lot of political messages in their video clip, like for the Kendrick Lamar and the other one for This Is America. And I felt, and I think that year also was the year where the Joker, the first one, not the second one, the good one at least, came out. So it also sparked in me that idea that I need to make something, and it only needs one person to start something. And you can only do what you can only take responsibility of your actions, and you can only start from your perspective. Other people will follow if you're doing the right thing. Other people, it's like a snowball, it will add up. But you can't expect everybody to join you. Just you start with it, and if what you're doing is the right path, and if it's a good thing, other people will join eventually. So that's what happened to me. I started writing political songs, and I started writing about the corruption that's going in Lebanon, especially that we are facing a militant group called Hezbollah. So they're the biggest militant group after national armies. And we reached a point in Lebanon that the banks got bankrupt. So the government took the money out of the banks, used them for governmental spending, and didn't give the banks their money back. And it was like a pyramid scheme that the Central Bank of Lebanon was doing, which it was taking the money out of the banks, giving it to the government, and then it's usually T-bills or treasury bills. That's what the banks used to buy from the central bank, and the central bank uses the money that it like gets as a loan from the banks and gives it to the government. And that's usually the scheme that they were doing. And they used to pay the interest of the loans or the T-bills that they used to get from new money that comes in. So that's what they were doing. They used to get more loans to pay the interest for all of the other T-bills that they had. So that eventually ended up in bankrupting the government and alternatively the banks in Lebanon. And at that moment in Lebanon, I was also writing these songs, and I was doing them in like open mics, stages, cafes, wherever I can do my songs, I used to do them. Obviously, also in social media. And at one time, there was like a political group that I was not a political group, but like let's say a club, or just like a group of people that were concerned about what's going on in Lebanon. And it all started with how they managed the garbage in Lebanon. And its name was You Smell. And they created a disaster in Lebanon in how to handle the garbage until this company like shut down for a minute, and every corner in Lebanon is filled with garbage. So we started marching or rallying to just show anger, like, hey, that's not correct. It wasn't political. It wasn't a political group in any way. It was just concerned people that were raising their voices just for the government to do something about it. Like, hey, let's take care of the garbage that now is filling up the streets and all of that. So I started going to the rallies that they're doing. And at one point, we did a rally against the government, and we went to the parliament, and I was one of the guys with them, and I did my song. So one of my songs was called Revolt, or Let's Start a Revolution. The chorus was Revolt, Revolt, Let's Revolt. And when I did my song over there, one of the national, or the local TVs, the national local TV, it was one of the number one in viewers, did an interview with me and recorded me doing my song. So I've been doing my songs for a minute, but nobody picked it up until mid-song. I was so stubborn that I want to do my full song. The interviewer was like, "We can only do the chorus, okay?" But he went out from so they were doing the news. So they cut off the news just to check what's going on the Capitol, or what's going on the Parliament, because there's people there that are doing their our rally or whatever. I can't really figure out the name. So we were doing a protest over there. So when they cut to me, I was doing my song, and mid-song, the guy was like, we need to cut the air. We need to go back to the studio. I was so stubborn to finish my song that in my head, I wanted to do it. And the guy is telling me this, I stuttered. So because I stuttered, somebody recorded me on live TV doing my song and then stuttering. And that thing went viral. Everybody saw me. Everybody knew about me. Everybody heard my song. Everybody saw me stuttering. And then that clip also was used by all of the other um, talk shows, like, the Jimmy Fallon of Lebanon and all of these Tonight shows and daily shows. They put my song and they put me stuttering. And they also sang my song in their studios. And the song was Let's Revolt, Let's Revolt, it's time to revolt. And during this week that my song became public and everybody listened to my song and all of the TVs, the government decided to put a tariff on an application that us Lebanese use it's like Snapchat. But the Snapchat of Lebanon is mainly also called WhatsApp. It's an application that most of the people use outside America, because guess what? All of the other places outside America, we still pay a lot of money for phone calls. So the only way to make it cheaper is we download an application called WhatsApp that uses internet. So rather than using our phone phone, we use the internet to make our phone calls, which is cheaper for everybody. So they decided to put a tariff on WhatsApp and make everybody pay like an extra $5 on it. So that thing with my song sparked us to go down to the streets. A week later, we went to the streets, and guess what? Over 1 million people joined us. We didn't expect that to happen. And we started what's now called the 17th of October Revolution. And it was on 17th of October, 2019. And that revolution sparked a whole movement in Lebanon. We blocked the roads. We closed all of the businesses, all governments, everything shut down. Everything shut down. And eventually it turned out to be even like a widespread protest that all of Lebanon went to the streets in their own village, in their own city, and started also closing the roads and protesting what's going on in Lebanon. So that thing sparked. So that thing made me like a public figure back in Lebanon. So one of the TVs picked me up and gave me a political talk show and gave me a position to be a news reporter and an anchor when I have the time. But I focused more on my political talk show. I had two political talk shows. One that I used to do with presidents, economists, politicians, public figures, and another one that I used to talk with the people that are in the streets that are still protesting. And doing that also made me a target. Made me a target for especially a political militant group that's called Hezbollah that I started the conversation with. They didn't like what I did. They didn't like what I'm doing. And I don't know if I want to talk details about them. I still have a case against them. But to make the long story short, I was threatened, I was kidnapped, and I was tortured. And one of my also political team leaders that was a friend of mine. So me and a group of people also started like a movement. It wasn't because in Lebanon you can't do a political party without them accepting it, and they're not going to accept any new political parties that's going to go against them. So we kind of started a club. It wasn't yet a political party, but that club was very effective. That eventually the team leader, the spokesman of that group, um, I don't know exactly what he, like, I can't say exactly what he did, but he spoke up and he spoke a lot of stuff that they didn't like. And he ended up being assassinated in his own home. And they reported it in the news and in the newspapers that he committed suicide with 2 bullets in the head, which was a clear message that we know that suicide can't happen with 2 bullets in the head. And we know that now you understand that 2 bullets in the head, that means we assassinated him. But we have the power to even do that and say that as a police report, and you can't do anything about it. So that happened. And then they gave me the final threat, like, if you speak up any more time, this is not going to be that just you this time. Your family will also be in harm's way. So I packed my bags, told my family, it's time to move and it's time to leave. And we took the first plane to Paris. And from there, another one, first class, directly to Georgia. And I've been here ever since.
Wow, that's an
That's
incredible
what got
story.
me. Thank you. That what got me here in the U.S.
Now, what can people take away from the story from the, you know, what can people from the U.S. and around the world take away from that story from you, what you did in Lebanon?
I don't know. They can take whatever they can take. I don't know what to tell them, but like, working in politics is always dirty. I've never seen a politician that's truthful. All of them are lawyers. All of them. And if you want to know the truth, always follow the money. So whatever they say in the news, that's probably a lie. That's the propaganda to cover up the lie that they want to say. So if you see a certain government is attacking somebody else, it's not because of their political ideology or religious background. It's just power and money. So Israel is trying to kick the Gazans out. Do you think it's because they hate them or because they're Muslim and the other ones are Jews? No. In Gaza, there's a lot of Christians, or even in Ramallah, which is another part of Palestine, which is in Israel, that that also are Christians, but they don't say that. But a lot of Christians are also being hurt over there. A lot of Jews are against what's going on in Israel, and the problem is not with the Jews. Nobody hates the Jews. Everybody, like, Islam and Judaism have so much in common that almost you can't tell them apart in the way that they act and in the way that they live, with kosher and what they eat and what they do. They mainly have a lot of common values and perspectives. It's it's mainly used like ethnicity um, or religious sectarism, the sector, or sectarianism, I think it's called. All of these are just weapons to use to rally people to their to certain cause or not. So nobody hates the Jews. What people hate is Zionism. What is Zionism? Zionism is also an extreme faction of the Jews that believes that the only people who will need to live and have this land are Jews and everybody else should die. They are not that different from all of the other extremists like Al-Qaeda or Hezbollah or even the Nazis, who actually were taking the ethnicity or the white race to be the best race and everybody else should die. The same thing, Zionism is based on these type of values too. And that's the problem that we have. We don't have a problem with the Jews. Nobody has a problem with the Jews. I love the Jews. We share a lot of things with you and a lot of common stuff. We hate the ideology that Israel is implementing, which is Zionism. So, but that's only used like from the Israeli perspective, the Israeli propaganda or the politicians, just to push a certain agenda. They want to control the land. That's it. Palestine is one of the richest lands on earth. They have a lot of gas. They have a lot of petroleum in the sea mainly. And they have one of the best fertile lands in like the olive trees and a lot of other vegetables and fruits are the best over there because, you know, the land has a certain flavor to it. And they have some of the best land to cultivate. And the location of it, just being above the Suez Canal and connecting all of the Middle East, is right on the center. And the background and the heritage that this country has religiously and culturally, with having the Christian and the Jewish and the Islam interest, all they have sacred religious monuments over there, that makes that piece of land very important and very valuable, with all of the material, spiritual, and cultural uh, influence that it has. So that what makes Palestine valuable. So everybody would say it's because of this religion and that religion and this faction and that faction. No, it's just power and money. Everybody's trying to grab power and everybody's trying to get some more money. And when they said they want to invade Gaza because of certain stuff, no, they want the money that the Gaza Strip could have and the corridor that it could also have, and the resources and the natural resources such as gas and petroleum that now we just know that the Gaza has. Same goes for any other thing. Like when Iraq invaded Iraq. Why did it invade Iraq? Why did it invade Afghanistan? So what's ridiculous about it, that later on we knew that when Americans wanted to invade Iraq, they said it's because of because they have weapons of mass destruction. So did they find any? No. There was a whole conspiracy that they created, and it was a whole later on it was discovered that it was a whole lie that they were saying. Why did they want to do that? They want to kick out Saddam. They want the power for themselves. They want to create chaos in the Middle East because chaos leads for them to be in control for any superpower. So if the people are fighting each other, they're gonna be the ones who, because like we have a saying back in Lebanon, split them to rule them. If you want to rule anybody, if he's a group, they're strong when they're together. But where they're divided, you can pick each one by one and pick their ass. Because I can't, exactly. So if I'm strong and 10 people fight me, I can't fight them all. But if I fight them one by one, each separately, yeah, I'm probably going to kick everybody's ass. So that's what they use. That's that mentality they use so that they can control a certain region. And control means resources, power, influence, and money. So they wanted Iraq for all of that. It wasn't for the weapons of mass destruction. So as I was saying at the beginning, whatever they say, it's probably a lie. There's a certain agenda that they want, and it's money and power. Same goes for Afghanistan. Why did they want to invade Afghanistan? How is that a thing? Like, just for one person? You want to get Osama bin Laden. You invade a whole country just to get that? Let's say you now, you're an American. You went and lived in, let's say, France. You were doing your studies over there. And then when you're doing then when you are in France, you decided to plan with a group of friends, group of Americans, who cares? Group of Americans to plan an attack on Russia. And you did it through cyber technology, okay? Through the internet, you went in and you, I don't know, hacked the government over there, and you got the codes for nuclear whatever weapons, or to shut down the internet, or to shut down, let's say, the electric grids over there. And by doing that, it created crashes and disasters, because everything is connected either to the internet, or they're created to electricity somehow in some form, which cut down the communications and the towers and the factories, the towers, what I mean is let's say the airplane towers, where they tell them how to go back and where to go, the airspace and all of that, the navigation systems. So let's say you did that, and that created a whole disaster back in Russia. The government also had a lot of deaths because of it. So should Russia invade America, or should it invade France? You tell me. You're an American. Should they go invade America just because you're an American in France? Or should they go invade France because you're in France? Invade France because you're living in France, but though you're American. The same goes with Bin Laden. Bin Laden is a Saudi national, which the Americans actually paid to go from Saudi because of his religion, because he's to go fight the Russians in Afghanistan. So Americans paid the Bin Laden to go fight the Russians in Afghanistan. So that's why they were there. And then when their mission ended, and the USSR, which is Russia now, broke down because they couldn't continue the fight with Afghanis and with other stuff that was going on in the 1990s, it led to the dissolvement of the USSR. So the Americans were actually the ones who created Bin Laden. And then later on, they stopped funding him. And I'm not sure. That's another conspiracy theory that you could go through, because you never really get the answers from the government. So if you were paying somebody to do this in Afghanistan, if that guy was in cahoots with the Americans and doing their bidding, could he not do their bidding once again and help them out, sending a few of his troops to do that 9/11 thing, to give them an excuse so that they could go to Iraq and Afghanistan, like it was already planned for them? So they finished the first plan, which is ending the USSR. Now they have other plans. They want to fight, let's say, through Afghanistan. They want to create the destabilization of the Asian governments, and in Iraq, a destabilization of the Middle East. Could that be a plan that they wanted to do all along? And they used the same pawn, which is Bin Laden, that they used to fight the USSR for this new cause. Good, and it's probable that's what happened. So a lot of the times they will tell you one thing, but in reality, when you follow the money, see what are the gains from going into Afghanistan, you will understand what's going on, or what's the gains from going into Iraq. So even now, whatever they say in politics, never believe them. It's always a lie. It's not like, yeah, there might be a chance that they're doing it for a certain cause or for the betterment of Americans. No, no, it's always a lie. And there's always a benefit out of it. You just have to follow the money. The thing is, it's not that easy to follow the money if you don't know how to follow the money and if you don't know how to get information. One of the things here in America, you can get a lot of information, but not always the information that you want. But there's some form to get information. And if you just check who became a billionaire, or what billionaires or what people made money this year, you will find out how the money went and who actually was benefiting. And you kind of make an idea of what was the reason of this invasion or this certain thing that happened.
That's a great point. I mean, divide and conquer, follow the money.
Yeah, you're right. Divide and conquer. That was the one that I was trying to get, but yeah, you got it.
Now, you're into conspiracy theories a lot. Now, you ever heard of the World Economic Forum or So, like, what do you think their agenda is for the whole world?
To make more money, to use every resource left in this globe for their own benefit. Everything. Like you hear about BlackRock now and Vanguard and all, and one other company, I can't remember its name, but it's connected to them, that's now owning almost every other land that is up for sale. You hear about Bill Gates trying to buy every hill, mountain, anything that's above seawater, and just in case uh, just in case the globe keeps warming up and the ice caps start to melt and all of the seashores are now and all of the you call them the countries or the cities that are on by the sea will get covered by water. So once you see that we're going to a place where you can't own anything. And these companies, just like any other cancer, when they grow big, they're gonna reach a point they're bigger than any other government and uh, any other person, that they're gonna eat everything in its way. And that's what we're going to. So the idea of globalism or a global government controlling everything, we're going to that day by day. This government is going to be the end, not the end. It's going to be the end result of these companies where they're going to be in control of that centralized government. They're going to find that even if they don't rename it, they're going to be the ones in control, as we have seen from any president that have come before, that they were kind of controlled by a certain entity, a certain, or they're doing the agenda of a certain company. And it's a ridiculous thing that over here you made it legal to bribe presidents and to own them by something called lobbying. Like, what the heck is lobbying? Like, I like every other thing that you made in terms of from the Congress to the Senate to everything, just like to create hurdles for somebody not to become a dictator. There's always like knots or keys that you have, or locks for full control. But still, they have control in every other way. Like lobbying is giving these companies access to the mayor, to the governor, to the congressman, to the Senate, and to the president, because every one of them has to campaign. And guess who owns the guy that campaigns? It's the company that funds his campaign. And they call it lobbying, which is an agreement that this company would pay you certain money for you to push certain laws, or for you to push certain cuts or tariffs or whatever, you name it.
Or
So
agendas.
agendas, yeah, exactly. Like you always hear about pharmaceutical companies making a certain medicine that eventually they had to retract, or that became a new drug like fentanyl or any of the other, or like perks and all of these, heroin, cocaine, all of these were actually medicine that pharmaceutical companies was using. Later on, it became a street drug, but it started as a medicine. So all of these companies that are also polluting the planet, they keep on doing whatever they want. How? How could a big company kill so many people and create so much disaster and only have to pay a fee? And if a guy goes and speeds on the street, he has to go to jail or whatever. If he did like uh, if he shoplifts, he's going to jail. And like if he hits a sign, he might go to jail and have to do something. It's like, and this company that killed thousands of people testing this drug or selling that drug without telling them that this is an addictive drug that's going to kill you eventually or make you addicted, doesn't have any repercussions. They only pay a fee. And usually the fee is a fraction of what they made on this drug. That, so rather than cutting that drug from even being made, you give them a fee. They made billions of dollars on that drug, and you're making them pay $500 million, and you think that's enough? Let me tell you, it's like it's kind of the fee that they have to pay just to keep that drug going on. How is that even a thing? It is, but like that's how effective and how powerful you become when you make a certain amount of money and you become that big. Because eventually you can just pay whatever politician and they will make a rule or a certain law, or take or cancel or like eliminate a certain rule or certain law just for you to keep on going. And yeah, for that centralized government, it's gonna be, this is how they're gonna do it. And now, if you hear how much some people are making, if you add up their money, they are bigger than any country. Yeah, and not any country, then let's say at least 70% of all of the governments in the world. Like the government of Lebanon has an annual budget of $20 billion. Well, that's just the bank account, or that's the personal account for Jeff Bezos, $20 billion. He has hundreds of billions of dollars. That's the personal account for Mark Zuckerberg or any of the other billionaires. So Lebanon, all of Lebanon, he can buy it and move it just like that. Same goes for any other country. Yeah, maybe the bigger ones like China, America, yeah, they have trillions. But guess what? Now we're finding out that some of them do have trillions. They're almost there. Like, but if it's their company's worth, the money that they have, yeah, they're there. So they're bigger than 70% of the countries in the world. So yeah, eventually we're gonna see that happening. They're gonna keep on taking resources, owning houses, owning land until you have nothing to own. We're gonna go back to the monarchy, which nobody owns land but us, or the people that they want to rule these lands, and you just work for us. We're going back to it. It's like a cycle. It seems like monarchy, then that leads to the rule of the people, revolutions, and then that goes up to autocracy, and then bureaucracy, and then we go back to monarchy. It's like a cycle that we can't go out of. And I feel like that's what's gonna happen. But it was always on it was like over countries. Their domain is usually separate countries or cities. I believe it's gonna eventually lead for them to unite and do that central government that they've been always talking about. They've always been pushing to do.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time period to be alive.
It is, and it's easy to control. So, if you saw what happened, and when the thing struck, it was kind of a test, and we control everybody in the world, and if we can, how? And they did it. They spread fear. That was the main thing. Spread fear. They spread the fear. Everybody was scared. Let's see if they can apply the new rules, the new world order that we want them to do. And they told them, everybody stay at home. Everybody stay at home. Nobody leaves your home. Nobody leaves home, and nobody goes out. Put a mask if you need to talk to anybody. Everybody did. And almost everybody eventually, it was like, if you want to go out of your house, take that. And that's what everybody did. I'll take, yeah, just get me out of that sick. Well, you put yourself into that house or into that thing in the first place. Now they gave you the cause, they gave you the motivation, which is fear, and they gave you the answer, which and the key to do their bidding. So it was a test. It worked. Now, soon enough, we're gonna see a new test where they're gonna kind of do something else to see if they can rally up everybody in the next level. So that was the first level of control of the New World Order. If you want to go deeper, some people say the thing that's gonna kind of unite everybody on a global scale is called the blue beam thingy. I'm not, what is it? The blue beam, whatever. Yeah, the blue beam operation. What is that? They're going to convince everybody that aliens are real and they're going to invade. And they're going to start showing UFOs. They're going to start showing blue beams and lights in the skies, uh, acting like aliens or UFOs. And probably they're going to kill a bunch of people just for you to believe that, yeah, that's what's going on. That's just like 9/11. Oh, yeah, the aliens are here. We got to do something about it. Well, yeah, I guess now there's a new world threat now. It's not just a threat that a country over a country or a city over a city and an ethnic group or a religious group over another. Now it's humans against aliens. And probably that's going to be the gateway for them to create that new world order. Could be something, but I really doubt it. No, I really doubt it. I just doubt it because if it's that known, probably they're not going to do that. They're going to do something different. But the crazy thing is, like, now everybody believes aliens are real. That was one of the main uh, uh, things that motivated me to ask people if they believe in aliens or not. Because, like, if you go 20 years back, like, if you ask your dad, if you ask your grandpa, probably he's gonna say, "What the fuck is that shit? What are you talking about? That's ridiculous." And now they believe it. Okay, let me tell you on a conspiracy theory that if you talk to your grandpa, he's gonna tell you that's ridiculous. But because humans are so out of contact and they have been out of reality, they believe it's true, which is birds are not real, or baby pigeons are not real. It's like If you go talk to your grandfather, he'd be like, no, birds are real and baby pigeons are real. I used to have a pool, or I used to play with chickens. I used to go out in the garden, the farm, whatever. They used to be in touch with the reality, with the ground, with the animals, with the forest, with all of that. They've seen pets, not pets. They've seen animals. They've seen baby animals because they went out. Nowadays we don't. We don't see the nest of the baby pigeons. So now we think there is no baby pigeons. It's just because the nest is high and it's hidden in some place safe. That's why you can't see the pigeons or the baby pigeons. You think now there is no baby pigeons, and you think the pigeons are now drones and they're here uh to record us and to. They don't need to do they don't need pigeons to do that. They have their phone, your phone. They have every other way to record you and follow you and spy on you and know everything that you are doing. They don't need pigeons to create. Look, don't get me wrong. They could create a pigeon that flies like a pigeon, but is a drone. Maybe. We nowadays with AI, it's very possible. But why go out of their way to create such a thing? And they have your phone in your hand. They can always check on your phone and check on you. You say I accept whatever they want and I agree, and every single application, every single phone, and every single software that you have on your phone, you say yes, I accept the terms of use, and the terms of use is, oh, we want to know all of the information that you can have or will have or had on your phone. So why do they want to go out of their way and do that? Why would they want to go and like when I this is one also another conspiracy is that the is a certain tracking device that they're putting inside that, they're putting it into people that or any other, and to track you and to follow you and to control you. They don't need to do that. You have your phone on your hand. They can control you through that. And obviously they're doing a great job in it, as you see what beliefs and values everybody holds. So they don't need to do all of that. So that's what I was saying. A lot of the things that now people believe because they are out of touch from reality. If they have really went on the ground, talked to people, communicated, they went and like I used to play on the farm when I was younger. I used to play in the streets. I used to ride my bike, go into adventures, climb trees, and discover the world through that. Nowadays, who's doing that? The only way that you're discovering anything is through your phone and computers and applications. And that will make you detached from reality. And if you've seen enough propaganda on whatever they want to show you through that phone, yeah, you're going to eventually believe it.
So true. So true. Now, we're in the fourth industrial revolution. A lot of people do not understand that with AI, drones,
Yeah.
and robots. Now, where do you see that future of all that going?
It's going to go as it looks like it's going. Like when you start, like when you're starting to create AI and infusing AI with every single thing, it's gonna lead for like to have already we start to have smartphones. We have now smart refrigerators, smart TVs, smart everything. Now the second phase is the AI. So why would anybody want to push, let's say, electrical cars rather than any other car? So we had by the way, we had electrical cars since the 1800s almost, or the 1905, 1904 was the first electrical car that was made, actually, and the steam engine was made even before that. But let's talk about electrical cars. Now, electrical cars are they want to push electrical cars on everybody. Though, just saying, it's like doing like this rather than going and touching your ear. They're doing it the long way. Well, do you know where do electrical cars get their electricity? from the normal grids that everybody gets. Where does the normal grid get the electricity from? Engines. They're going from other factories that's also pumping oil and fuel and gas to make that electricity on this electrical grid, and then you get it to your car. So rather than going to the pump station and putting it directly, you're just going to the electrical company that went to the gas station and got their gas from there and gave you that electricity. That's it. So it's not really conserving anything. It's using the same type of energy or the same type of resource to make the energy. It's just one step between them. But why would they want to make electrical cars? Why would they want to push all of that AI? They want even more control on you. Eventually, you're not going to have anywhere to escape. The electrical car, they can stop anytime they want. That's another part of automation. When everything is automated and controlled by a certain button or a certain control or a certain AI, that they don't have to have humans to do that. They can just order anything to be followed, viewed, controlled by a button. Then they have full control over human. It's not because they want to prevent criminals. It's just they want to prevent anybody from touching them and from standing in their way, and the money and the land or the properties that they own. That's what kings used to do, and that's what most religions were made for. So when the rules were not written and laws were not written, and there wasn't any lawyers, any of that, kings used to write these laws and rules, and eventually they made them religions. So if you look at all of the other civilizations that came before us, every single monarch, king, pharaoh, emperor, whatever, czar, Caesar, you name it, they came with a political, religious ideology to rule. All of them, the Romans, the Greek, the Egyptians, because that's the only way to prevent people to do your bidding and not to steal from you. They don't care if you steal from each other, as long as you don't steal from them. So now we're going back to that. So it's always been like they're leveling up their game. So until we reached a point where everybody revolted against the rule of the monarch, and that created the democracy. Though democracy is not a new thing. You know that Rome was a democracy. You knew that Greece, an ancient Greece, was a democracy. There was democracy, and the demokratia. It was a term created in Athens, and that was 2,000 something years old. Same as the Romans, they were 2,600 years old, a little bit more. So all of these things that we think it's a current thing, they were there, they were applied. The Romans had their Senate, and they used to also do council, and they used to pick the Tsar or the Caesar. Same goes for the Greek. They used to have public debates on the rules and the regulations of what they did. It so happens that the richer people who are educated and knew how to write and do all of that were the ones who started influencing everybody, which is in every other civilization. Even now, in our civilization, yes, we have a lot of, but the ones who are most educated, the most have power, that can do that, which are the Senate and the Congress and other influential positions in the government. So it's not a new thing, but it always ended. But they always tried a new method to rule the masses and control the masses. So the only thing that this revolution, as you started the question, is leading is to more control and to ultimate control of you, your mind, and your body, and your future.
Yeah, it's almost if you're going to own nothing and be happy.
Yeah, that's where we're going. So we're going back to that idea of being a certain government owning, which is a monarch. We can name it in different ways. And you own nothing, but you're still going to be happy. You're still alive because that's where going to be your worth, your life.
Yeah, it's almost like if AI and all these robots take a lot of jobs, this could be like a world universal basic income.
True, true. But look, AI will take some jobs, but it will create other jobs because there is also, if you want it to go into that, AI needs humans to operate and to make sense of what it needs to learn. So there's a website also, if you want to go to it, where an AI needs the assistance of humans, and it will give you jobs to help it learn certain things. So if to help her become more human, and it will always be that way. Like humans are still gonna, so we're not gonna have a lot of humans doing certain jobs, but you're still gonna need humans to operate. Okay, so it's not definite like that. AI is going to take the jobs of humans totally. It will take some of the human job, but you're always going to need the human factor in most of the jobs. So, but it's going to be different types of jobs. Like nowadays, one of the top trending jobs is data science, computer engineering, robotics, all of that that is connected to AI and robotics mainly. That's going to be a thing.
But at some point, though, in the future, there will be a chip that will be inserted in the back of your head, right behind your ear, and it's called Neuralink, and Elon Musk is working on it. And when you have that much power of all the knowledge of the whole internet inside of your head, is that safe?
Well, no, it's not safe because now they can access you like they access any other computer. And it's not about having all of the knowledge in the behind of your neck. You already have it on your hand. Why do you have to stick it in your head? It's just another form of controlling you, your ideas, your perception, and controlling the hormones. Why wouldn't that chip also regulate the certain hormones and emotions in your body? If um, they can connect it to the brain, they will eventually figure out through AI how to influence you and influence your brain into acting in different ways. So if they want to make you accept a certain idea after you see it, they will induce the brain to release dopamine or to release serotonin just to make you happy or make you feel okay and to accept a certain thing. That's how your brain functions. Whenever you do something that's good for you, your brain rewards you with dopamine or will make you happy and release some serotonin for you to keep doing whatever you're doing. So, what if they want to make you accept certain things or accept certain ideas or actions that you wouldn't if you would do it on your own. But if they release certain dopamine on your brain after doing it, I guess you're gonna start doing it happily and believing that's the right thing to do.
The future is scary and it's powerful. And I don't know what it really looks like because I mean, if you really think about it, if we have, let's just say it can cure blindness, and a lot of people sign up for it, okay, and then you have the internet on the tips of your fingers and in your head at the same time, and you are above and beyond of someone else that you're talking to or having a political debate over, and you can fact check them right then and there, and you have everything on the palm of your fingertips, really. It's basically game over.
But fact checking is not rad. Like you don't think nowadays we can't fact check anything, but even in that power that we have, we still don't know the truth. We still don't know right from wrong because they're always going to be pumping propaganda against it. And it's also going to be the same if it's in your head or outside your head. Like now, we already know that some of the stuff are good, some of the stuff are bad, but we can't make up our mind which is which, especially when it becomes the so. We used to know what things we see are real and what are not because of our eyes and our ability to detect it. But can you now detect from through AI what is real and what's not? Can you really tell what's human and what's not? No, and and it's becoming even more and more real with every day, with every update that it comes with. It's becoming even more and more harder to tell the truth from from the lie. So you think later on you're gonna tell? No, it's gonna be the same. Actually, if it's in your brain, it's gonna be even more believable because it's working on whatever your perception is. Now it can collect even more data to see how you think and how you would be convinced. And as I was saying, if they release any hormone, they made you release any dopamine or any hormone in your brain uh, after saying whatever lie, I bet you're gonna believe that lie. So I don't think it's going to be as easy. And we might reach to a point where all of these movies that you've seen about reality being in a reality and the idea of a simulation or a matrix or I don't know, like robots uh, fighting you or all of that, it could be a possibility. And it could be, yeah, it could be a huge possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I see at some point in the future, there's going to be basically humans that do not take the chip, and then there will be cyborgs, basically humans with some type of AI advancement inside of them.
Yeah, it will be, and it will keep on going until that. It could be an exoskeleton that you also gonna have to help you walk, to help you do jump, to give you certain powers. It's gonna start with helping amputees, and it's gonna start with helping um, old people to walk and do everyday stuff like they used to, because they're gonna become weaker, and that will make that thing even easier for us to infuse and become and become dependent on. And as we go into the future, yeah, it will be more and more a real thing. You're right.
Makes you think, I mean, are people going to live forever in this virtual reality?
You never really know. Probably you might not live forever, but you never really know. It's how can you transfer consciousness? That's what they're trying to move. Like they can copy you. They can reach a point where they can actually copy your ideas or the map, or they can map your brain and copy everything inside of it and put it on a certain hard drive or a certain robot. And that will become you. But is it really you? Is it like your conscious? Like, are you going to feel, you're going to close your eyes and open your eyes and feel like you're in that robot? I don't know. But they could make you go asleep and put a headset on your brain or inside your brain. And through that headset or that chip, you can control a robot that's going to walk and talk and be you. And it's going to be looking just like you, acting just like you. And you might live forever through that. But they might also figure out what make humans die. And that's a thing. So they discovered a few stuff that makes a human die and make them get older and older. It's because, and they're trying to create stuff to stop that. And eventually, yeah, we might be able to do that. So one of the things, it's called CRISPR, where they can modify genetics and modify human DNA. And one of the things that they discovered that make us grow old is that the chromosome, when it duplicates, with every iteration that it duplicates, it loses some of the caps, or it loses some part of it. And due to this loss, with every iteration that it multiplies, you become older and older until you lose a lot. And that's eventually when you die. So that loss is caused by a certain protein that your body releases. And if you can stop that protein from being released, maybe that chromosome is not gonna wear out, and you're gonna keep on reproducing or replicating your cells in a way that's gonna keep you alive for a longer time. I don't know. Maybe CRISPR is a thing, and duplicating is a thing, and maybe after a while, whatever is not working in you, we could uh, put a mechanical organ instead to do the same function. Or how about we clone that organ that you have and make you a transplant? This way you're going to have it. So that possibility is there, but it's not going to be available for everybody like everything else. Yes, it will be available for certain people and for a limited people that can get that technology. So can they replicate your heart, clone it? Yeah, they can. Now they do. You could, the China is Russia, I don't know, Japan. They have their cloning research. They over here in America, it's not legal, but I believe some are doing it, like in the down low, or they're doing it in the countries that accept that, or that would let that's not illegal in them. So it could be a possibility now that they can, if they can clone organs. So they're gonna keep changing your organs until whatever organ fails. What is it? Your heart? Will do a transplant. But nowadays you can do a transplant, but it's not that cheap. So let's say in the future they could clone your heart, your exact heart. They're gonna clone it, and you can transplant. It's still gonna be not cheap. Still, you're gonna need a certain amount of money, and insurance companies obviously they're not gonna give you that. They don't care if you live or die. They actually make more money if you're dying rather than being alive. So they, yeah, what I'm saying is they could find multiple ways to replace multiple organs to keep you alive, but your brain is the one that's gonna have to stay. Can they replicate brain? I'm not sure. Your brain has all of that information. I'm not sure if they can transfer the information in your brain to another brain, even if they clone it, and it's gonna be still you. They can replace any limb that you have. Maybe eventually they replace any limb that you have, uh, either by cloning or by mechanical extensions that they can add to you. Um, it's gonna prolong your life, probably. 100 years ago, 200 years ago, or like when Jesus was alive, he died at the age of 33. That was the average age of a human. Only the rich people lived longer than that, but mainly all of them died by the age of 40 by some reason. Accident, war, disease, famine, something happened because nothing was stable. Nowadays, like 500 years ago, it was around 40, 50 years old. Now, 100 years old, after the discovery of the microscope in the 1800s. They started understanding what's bacteria and what's viruses and what diseases are. And then they discovered the penicillin, and they discovered how they can kill bacteria and fight microbes and viruses. So now the average age of a human went up to 60, 70, some live up to 100. So with all of these advancements, I don't think you're going to live forever, but you might live to be 120 maybe if they create an exoskeleton, if they replace your organs, and and they have better medicine. Like, did you know that through AI now they can detect diseases from your voice? Like, what's that hospital? I'm not really sure the name of St. Jude's. No, I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say that I know, but one of the hospitals, McGill. I'm sorry. I have to go back and look it up. But now they can actually detect heart disease and the coronary disease from your voice. So AI eventually is gonna figure out certain things that might kill you just from your voice, from your pee, from whatever. They can start detecting this earlier and help you out. So just by listening to your voice from your phone, they will tell you, oh, you have coronary disease, you have like an aortic problem in your aorta vein, in your heart, whatever, and you need to check it out. So imagine how now, through AI, you could discover even more diseases and more cures and more ways to fight them, detect them, and actually prolong your life. Um, so I believe like it's exponential. Like 100 years ago, we used to live till 40 because of wars and everything else, maybe 50. Now in 2024, we're living up to 80, 90. My grandma is 92. She's still going on strong. Um, Maybe in the next generation or our generation, through all of these advancements, we might live to 100, 110, and that would be a normal thing now, with everything taken in consideration, with all of that help. Maybe later on, you're going to live to 130. Yeah, you're going to be there through other advancements from cloning, exoskeletons, or replacing parts, or AI, or all of that. But it's prolonging our lives. I don't know when we will get to the point that we're gonna live forever. Nobody lives forever. It's not a. It's not possible.
No, you give a really good insight. And the more we talk, the more I keep on thinking about you're going to own nothing and be happy at the end of the day. And like these people are putting on these headsets and these virtual realities, and these new video games are coming out, and like GTA 6, and you can buy and sell crypto on them. You can own land inside the virtual game. I mean, it seems like people are more into a virtual reality than they are a real reality that they actually can do the same things in.
Exactly. Exactly. All of these are possibilities. And who knows, whenever you're gonna be in deep sleep all of your life, just something dripping like sugar in your blood to keep you alive, and you're living on a different reality, doing whatever you want to do. You might now wake up and find yourself in that other reality and find yourself like in the Matrix. You're in a capsule and they're just feeding you sugar just to keep you alive, and you're already connected to that universe, and you're not going to know the difference. This is the reality we're going through.
Now, what is your personal biggest conspiracy theory?
Biggest conspiracy theory. Actually, I don't know. Living this life, I don't find anything to be that big of a conspiracy. Like, almost everything is almost real. Maybe a conspiracy that, um, I don't know.
How about I ask you this one? Are aliens real?
No, not from everything that I've seen. There is no, uh, yeah, there is nothing that would make me believe that aliens are real so far. Like everything is just an imagination, a fragment of imagination of our head. Because every single other um, alien that anybody explained is almost identical to a human. So unless the aliens are humans that have traveled far and came back to Earth and they changed, but they're still humans, that could be human. That could be an alien. Yeah, exactly. But an alien has to have a genetic uh, that genetically has to be different from our DNA. Because, like, we share with every single organism in this planet almost a certain percentage of DNA. Even viruses, bacteria, they share around 10% of DNA with us. Dogs share 50%, pigs share 75%. Monkeys and apes share around 96 to 98% of our DNA, almost identical. So for an alien to be an alien, it has to have a different genetic or DNA from us. And I don't see how is that even possible? So there might be like a certain civilization back in the past, million years ago. Because remember, now they say that Earth is billions of years, and they say that the universe is billions of years, over 7 to 8 billion years. So a civilization could come up, become smart, and reach lengths that we've never reached nowadays, and then be destroyed, and then come back again, and then another would come back again, and we'd never really know. Like we only now see the fossils of less than 0.01% of all of the other everything that has ever been living on that earth. And it's a rare occasion that we get a fossilized thing, let alone everything else that has been that came and left that we can't really that does didn't really leave any trace. So now if we for some reason we all kind of throw nuclear bombs on each other, we kill each other, or some asteroid hitting us, and that's a possibility. That's usually what makes the reset. So that would, if you want, that could be my biggest conspiracy, is that every few thousands of years, uh, an asteroid hits Earth and creates this new reset where everything will be wiped out of this Earth. All of the information that we collected will be wiped out. Because guess what? It's all electronic. It's going to be all either in books or it's going to be digital. So when they get wiped out, there's not going to be any trace of it. And you think any trace of your phone is going to be there or a building? No, it's going to be all wiped out. And that creates the reset every few thousand years. So who can really tell if any other civilization was there, left Earth, came back, and they became the aliens? So we might be another alien. We might be the same aliens or another generation of that alien. Who knows? That's why I don't believe that there might be an alien. Because even though that alien could have lived, but we wouldn't have known anything about it. And that there's no trace about it. And I think that's what's going to happen. Eventually, we're going to be wiped out. An asteroid's going to hit us, and nobody's going to know that we even existed unless there's a monument, a huge monument like the pyramids. And I think that's why they wanted to create the pyramids or whatever. And they're all over the universe, all over the globe. China has even bigger pyramids than the pyramids of Giza, but we never really talk about them. They don't want you to talk about them. You can find pyramids everywhere. Why? Why would anybody build a pyramid and like half of them say they're tombs for the pharaohs or they're tombs for the kings. And like, do you know how many years does each tomb take for them to build? Like, some of them are even longer than the lives of most of the pharaohs or kings that could have lived. They take over 70, 80, 120, some of them 100 and something years. None of them lived that long. So I don't know what's the reason, but I think they're just a message for the future generations to come tell you of what's going to happen and to make you, to make you, or to get us ready for what's going to happen. But I think we still don't get the message.
Yeah, there's a lot of history that is unknown. I mean, because just look back in history, there's been great floods, there's been volcanoes erupting, there's been meteors. The history is very unsure of what happened back then. And with that being said, I mean, I'm hoping that in the future we can, if a meteor comes, we can maybe destroy it before it makes impact with the Earth, and maybe it'll just burn up in the atmosphere when it comes down and stuff like that. I mean, but a volcano can erupt at any moment and change the course of our history in a second.
Yeah, it could. And most of the time, I don't know, but maybe we could detect that meteor or that asteroid before it hit us. But I feel like once we figure it out or once we detect it, it's gonna be too late because we will only detect it when it's on the trajectory to hit us. Remember, the Earth is always moving, and the asteroid is also moving. And as scientists are saying, the whole galaxy, like the sun and all of and all of the planets going around it, are moving too. The whole universe is expanding too. So for us to detect something coming from far away that is going to hit us, it's not that easy with all of these variables going on. So we can't really know that it's coming for us until it's in the way that gonna hit us. So I don't know if we're gonna even be able to deter it. Because guess what? If you hit the asteroid and you blow it out, it's not gonna change direction. It's still gonna be going in the same direction, but it's gonna be spread out now. Rather than having one big boulder, you're gonna have thousands of smaller rocks going in. And guess what? Going that fast, going that uh, going in that direction and spreading out is going to create almost similar damage on us. There is no way actually of getting away from the asteroid unless there's, I don't know, unless we figured out a way to move that asteroid all together. You never know. You never know. We haven't had that much space navigation that is that simple. Like, they went to the moon once and they never went back. How many times did Elon Musk try rockets and NASA and they all blew up? Why did most of the governments stop sending rockets to the sky or to the space? Because it's not that easy. It's not an easy feat to do. So even nowadays, it's not going to be an easy feat. We still didn't get the full advancement in technology to have that easy access to space and to able to maneuver things in space. We might, but I don't think in this age. It might take a couple more ages at least. Maybe in 2080, maybe 90, we might get to that if we get to that.
Makes you think, though, why have we not been back?
Well, we
Now,
haven't
yeah,
been
been
back.
back to the moon. Yeah, I mean, technology has grown tremendously
Exactly. And we
since
still
then.
didn't go back to the moon. We barely go out to space and throw satellites around space. And most of them are throwing, like, let's say, a rocket to a certain station that is between the moon and space, or like the ones, the probes that they sent to take pictures and all of that. But other than that, we haven't been to space. We haven't discovered it. We barely discovered our oceans, let alone discovered space.
Very true. Now, on your show, you do ask this question a lot. Now, do you believe in angel numbers?
Oh, they're just a coincidence. And I asked it not a lot. I just asked it the last time, and I'm trying to change questions every single time. No, angel numbers is a new thing. Go talk to your grandfather and tell him about angel numbers. You'll be like, what the fuck is that? What stupid shit is that? No, there is, angel numbers are just a way of us to explain things that are coincidence, that are not explained. So look, your brain will try to make sense of anything just to stay alive, just to get motivation from someplace, and will create causation and correlation with anything. Like, I saw 444 on my phone, and then I went to work and I made money. It must be the angel telling me that's the right path, or that. No, it's not. You were if it wasn't money that you made, if something else, somebody said something good for you, you're gonna say, oh, that's because of it. And if you believe that's it gonna hurt, if you believe that something like a number is bad, and then you see something bad, you're always, oh, it's because of that. It's not. It's just coincidences. Nowadays, data science is analyzing a lot of information that will help us to understand some of the things, but it's not always there. Our brain will make up whatever it needs for you to keep on living and to keep on going. Because that's the meaning of life. Is living. And keep on living. That's what all of animals, insects, and bacteria, viruses, that's what they're doing. They don't care how they live. They just live and reproduce to keep on living. Even your cells and your organs, do you think they have a conscious, and they're like, well, how should I mutate, or how should I split, or how? They don't just live. They just whatever. It's a code pushing it to live and pushing it to even to multiply. That's the idea of it. All cells, the basic function of them, even viruses, even bacteria, are to multiply, and that's what all of the other stuff is doing. Plants, they throw seeds to multiply. Animals, they do that to multiply. Every other thing is made to multiply and to grow. And that's the reason of life. There is no other deeper meaning of life. We create meaning. The reason of life is just to keep living.
It's really good insight. Really good. Now, out of all your questions, which one stands out the most? I mean, what's the best question you've ever asked someone?
Best question. I don't know what is best and what is not best. I think, there is no best question. It's always a perspective. It depends on whatever you are into. But for me, what's your biggest conspiracy theory will always show me how delusional you are, and how the depth of the things that you are comprehending or not. Um, because it's how much you believe in certain propaganda, how much you believe in certain influences that you see on your TV, on your cinema, on your phone, or from just being inspired or being manipulated by somebody, because you look up to them, or you believe them because you don't know any better. So it kind of gives me an insight on uh, what that person's state of mind is. You'd be surprised. I had one person, I still didn't drop the interview, but he doesn't believe in Jesus, but he believes in aliens and Santa Claus. I'm like, how does that even make any sense? So sometimes you believe in contradicting stuff. It's just what makes you go. So that guy doesn't believe in Jesus, though Jesus has been found in a lot of scripts and in different cultures, but he doesn't believe in Jesus, but he does believe in Santa Claus. Oh, sorry, did he say yes for Santa Claus? I'm not sure, but he said yes for aliens. Yeah, he said yes for aliens. And like, so what scriptures did you see about these aliens? What evidence have you had about these aliens? Mm. What made you be so sure about the aliens? I don't know, but that contradiction is always there. Why? Because people want to make sense of everything that doesn't make sense. Because life doesn't make sense. Why are we living? Why do we keep on living? What's the reason? Everybody wants to make some sense of their life, as if you're here for a certain reason. Nobody wants to believe that they're here just like everybody else, just because, yeah, their parents reproduce like any other cell, like any other animal that is meant to happen and that will be reproducing and they will be multiplying. We're just a number to everything else. But they want to make their life be valuable to them, to make sense of it and to make a certain understanding to keep them motivated to live. Or else you're just going to opt out and die. So, uh, if you talk to anybody, you will find them full of contradictions in all kinds of ideas, ideologies, and yeah. So I like this question just to see how complex the reality is and how contradicting their ideas are.
Now, what advice would you give to someone who wants to do street interviews?
Just do it and keep on doing it. You'll figure it out. There is no way to know ahead what people would like, how your engagement will be, and uh, how much people would be taken by your charisma and by your ideas. You're not gonna know ever. And for me, it's always been a process of trial and error. Just do it. Start step one. If you don't start step one, you're not gonna get step two, three, four, 100. That's how you start counting. You have to start from number one to get to number 100. Um, so just start, and from doing it, you will have an idea of what worked, what didn't work, and if you just are smart enough to keep on doing what worked and noticing the stuff that didn't work, with enough time, you will get to a point where things start to become automatic. Things will start to click in your mind, and you will figure out what you need to do, how you need to act. As long as you have an open mind, an inquisitive mind, and a mind that is motivated to become better, to do better, and that don't believe that you are perfect and you've reached the limit of understanding and knowledge, you will make it eventually. It's all about just doing it and repeating it multiple times until you start to perfect it and perfect that craft, like any other thing that you do in the world. A lot of people um, wanna become the best quickly or become rich quickly. It's not how reality is. So if you want to become buff and you want to go once a week to the gym, you're not going to become buff. You will eventually, but not that quickly. Everybody wants an easy way, a quick way to become smart, putting a chip in their brain, come buffed and put a hormone or a steroid to help them buff. They want a beautiful job. They want to take a beautiful body. So they do a body job on them, like a boob job or whatever job, or BBL, or take Ozempic. They want a quick way out. It's never the answer. If you don't do the pain, you will not enjoy the gain. Part of it is the process of to get it. And in life, I found out that everything is either in contradiction in what you believe. So um, whatever makes you feel the pain is the one that's gonna give you the gain. But everything that's gonna be pleasurable for you is not gonna move you far away. So the same goes like when you go bodybuild and you do physical activity, the harder you go and the more you do, the more pain that you feel. It's never going to be that easy. It's never going to be that enjoyable unless that's how you rewire your brain. It's always going to feel hard for you, but that's the only way that you're going to become better. They become bigger because you're not going to be motivated to become better if you don't feel the pain to overcome it. And that's what I figured out in life. Like, if something is giving you pleasure now, it will give you pain later. And if something is giving you pain now, it will give you pleasure later. Not saying that you have to harm yourself to feel the pleasure later on, but I'm saying in the concept of life, like the pain that you go through now, working out on yourself will make you feel better in the future because your body's going to be better and your health is going to be better. Whatever is giving you pleasure now, which is, let's say, if you decided to do the opposite and become lazy or eat sugar or eat all of the bad stuff that harm your body, eventually you're going to feel that pain because your body's going to be screwed up and fucked up. You can't actually function properly. And you see that with everybody. So a lot of the times you have to do that, overcome that pain today so that you can enjoy it in the future. Even as I was saying, also, if you want to take other examples of feeling the pleasure today, yeah, it is pleasurable to maybe just sit on my ass and be lazy and be at home or eat sugar or take drugs and be high now. But later you think it's not going to affect you later on. It will affect you later on. It will take a toll on your body. It will take a toll on your brain. And if it didn't take a toll on your physical body and brain, it will take a toll on your mentality, on your consciousness, in your perception. Like the same thing as the people who watch porn every day. Eventually, your brain is being wired that to be aroused once you look at a woman, or if you see something about her that is revealing, you're going to start being aroused and being uh, unfocused on your life or whatever you want to do. You will be looking desperate against next to women. That's not going to work. So rather than feeling the pleasure now, take the pain. Yeah, don't watch porn. And this way, when you meet a girl, you're going to be aroused in the right time and you're going to appreciate the girl as a human being rather than as a sexual being. So if if it doesn't take a toll on your body, it will take a toll on your psyche and brain. Whatever it is, if it's giving you pleasure now, it will give you pain later. If it's giving you pain now, probably it will be pleasurable for you later.
That's a great takeaway. Go through the pain to get the result.
That's the only way. That's the only way. Um, I think I need to take a break or um, kind of wrap it up.
No, I can wrap it up real soon. And like I was saying, it's all about the journey, not the destination, but the personal development throughout the journey.
Yeah, exactly. I've always had a saying that's been taught to me. I don't know if you have it here in America, which is the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. It's true, but I feel like there's something missing because you could go 1,000 miles around. Like if you go out, if you start the first step and then you do all of these steps around your house, you're going to be going in circles. You're not going to be doing anywhere. But if you have a plan and you have a right direction, you can actually reach the destination that you want to. So in life, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a destination, if you don't have an idea of what you want to do, you're going to be going in circles. Imagine going out of your house and you want to go to the market, but you don't know where, you don't know how. You're going to be going in circles around your house. You're not going to reach any place. But at least having a goal, going to the market, would help you. By if you go out, you start asking where I can go, what road leads to the market, what road leads. You will eventually make it. But that's if you have a goal that you want to go out to. Living your life without any goal is gonna make you want to be pleasure now because you just want to be happy now. You don't have anything that you want to do. But once you have a goal, everything will be planned accordingly. You will start doing stuff to reach your goals and you reach your destinations. Otherwise, you're going to be following everybody else's goals. Because if you don't have a goal to reach to, guess what? You're probably a part of somebody else's goal and somebody else's ambition. If you don't have a company that you want to do and that's, let's say, I'm giving an example, a company that you want to open and that you want to, there's a vision that you want to have from this company to make everybody work for you and to fulfill that vision, guess what? You're going to be part of somebody else's company or somebody else's group or some other friend's vision or or goal that you're going to be fulfilling, but not yours. So, and so if you don't have any goals, you're going to be just wandering and you're not going to be looking forward to be uh, going through hardships. Because why do you want to go through hardship if it's not going to lead you to whatever you want? So, but if you have a goal that you aspire to achieve, you want to you wouldn't mind going through these hardships to get to that goal. If you want to go up the mountain and that's your goal, you're gonna feel the hardship and you're gonna go through the hardships and you're gonna be motivated because you have a goal you want to reach to. Same goes in everything in life. If you don't have a mountain to climb, or just want to be sitting there, guess what? Why would you want to make yourself feel bad or feel any hardships if you don't have any mountain to climb? You're just going to stay there and you're just going to make yourself comfortable in whatever bubble or whatever place that you are in. So always have goals in life and always have something to aspire to wake up for, because that thing will give you the motivation to go through whatever hardship that you're going through, and you will enjoy these hardships. Because if you have an image of your body that you want to get to, you will go to the gym and you will enjoy the pain because it will get you that body that you want. But if you don't have a goal to make a good body or perception that you want to have, you're not going to do it. You would be like, why would I go to and feed and run and hold weights and all of that? I'm happy where I am.
No, that's great insight. We've covered a lot. I appreciate your insight. Now, is there anything else you'd like to share before we go?
No, I guess we shared a lot, and for the time being, at least that's enough. Maybe some other time we can go into other topics, or we can pick a topic and delve into in detail a little bit more. But let's throw this out there and see what people think about it and what were they interested about. And we can have even more deeper conversations on any of the topics that we just talked about. And yeah, I'm pleased to be in this podcast with you. It's a pleasure talking to you, and good luck in your endeavors.
No, I appreciate you for being on the podcast, and I'm sure the listeners have a lot to take away from this whole podcast. And it was an awesome conversation we had. Mr. Big USA, thank you again.
Pleasure. Follow me at Mr. Big USA. I'll be there. waiting for you guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. And everyone, make sure to go check him out. And this is Everyday is Friday Podcast 365. Until next time, everybody, I appreciate you and thank you.